Live Live Podcast with your host, Jose Arqueta.
We're back. Welcome back to Live Live Podcast.
Live
Your host,
Podcast.
Jose, as always. I know I've been in my ear for a little bit. I was sick. I was hit pretty hard, man. I'm not going to lie. But we're back. I'm excited to be back. I always get excited to be here and record another episode. Today I have a special guest. She's one of our own sponsors. I'm happy to have her here. I can't wait to share her story. And I always start with the commercial of her, right? I already siempre hago kick off el episode con su comercial. Pero ahora como la tengo aquí, la tengo la mera mera, la dueña de dueña, I'm going to let her do the commercial for Revive Beauty Bar Aesthetics.
Sí.
Yeah, I said it right. Yes.
Okay. Well, hi. So Revive Beauty Bar, what it is my long time dream to have a place where people can come in and feel comfortable and themselves, basically. So what we offer, I guess I can start there, right? So basically it's IV hydration and vitamins and anything aesthetics like laser hair removal, skin resurfacing, Botox, fillers. But yeah, so I wanted to have a place where people can come in and get most of their services in one spot. My goal was, when I started the IV hydration part of it, was to target the community, because hardworking community. I mean, everybody does hard work. Everybody deserves to feel better. But in my head, I always have field workers because my parents, I see como venían de cansados and how tired they came and something like that where they can recharge, and feel comfortable and feel special. They need to be treated special.
Right. Nice. Not
Yeah.
only that, but I mean, when you think about a place like that, like yours, right? Everybody thinks like, oh, I got to go to Carmel. I got to go to Monterey.
Yeah.
I got to go over like kind of like the high-end stuff, you know what I
Sí,
mean?
todos, yeah.
Todos así, but now that there's a spot here in Salinas, yours is in downtown, right?
Yes, right
Which
inside.
is a perfect spot. And I think you're there where we were trying to get an office there, us ourselves, my
Oh, really?
broker. Yeah.
Like a lot of people don't know that's like we're hidden.
Yeah,
I
está abajo,
tell
¿verdad?
everybody we're
Yeah.
tiny, but we're mighty. We have all the
Yeah.
services.
Está abajo, ¿verdad?
Está abajo,
sí. To the left side, ahí estaba una oficina empty.
Oh, okay.
Y nosotros le íbamos a dar a my broker, shout out to my boy Rudy, he was going to get it, pero the only downside that we didn't do it was because of the, for us, like we have a lot of agents, so everybody had to pay like a $50 parking fee or something like that.
Oh, yeah. For the,
Yeah, para parquearse atrás. But ya ves que en veces, pues, I like what downtown has become now, that it's kind of like you feel comfortable to go one place to another place.
Yeah,
There's always something. So traffic there is a little bit, But other than that, it's in the heart of Salinas, California, 831, for you guys that are listening out of state, because I do have some listeners, out of state. Otra vez estaba mirando, dije, dude, I got a guy from Australia listening to
wow.
a guy or a girl, I don't know, but I was like, that's pretty cool, Australia, I was like, hell yeah. Yeah, so, that's really, really cool because the power of IV, knowing about que puede ser una IV para ti, no nada más just to hydrate, it goes along. Va mucho, te da más que saber, And it blows me away too, because the older I get, the more you start realizing like how you need to take care of your body, right?
Exactly, yeah. And then that's where all the diseases start coming down.
Sí,
you
se
start
te empieza a fallar el motor.
You're coming down.
The engine starts failing, because you're young, you don't feel anything. But as you
Exactly,
start getting older, you're like, God damn it.
What is it? There's that meme where it says like you don't know how old you are until you try to like get up from the floor. You're sitting on the like, everything aches.
Yeah, and then the fact that with the services you offer, like como yo, like I saw Oscar de la Hoya with the micro needling thingy.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, dude, I gotta try
heel,
that.
yeah.
So look, I sleep with the mask. I have a
CPAP?
yeah. Y mira cómo me quemó aquí. I don't know if you see that
Oh, yeah.
manchita, and I hate it, dude.
It's tight.
And
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna ask her que me recomienda aquí.
Yeah, we got you.
All right, perfect. Así unos Botox
yeah.
así, ¿no? But then,
Reminds me, yeah.
I don't want to have that much Botox that I can't laugh because, I guess, dicen que
yeah.
pierden the sensation, ¿sí es cierto o no?
No.
No? It's because
really?
I saw in the movie Adam Sandler where he's like a plastic surgeon. But but anyways.
People overdo it, but yeah.
But anyways, I usually, start my each episode with a proper introduction and with a gift. Fortunately, another sponsor of us, Hulk's Jerky. No me llevó el jerky.
Ay, María.
I know, ay, María, no me trajo el jerky, so te la debo.
Yeah, sure.
I owe you that beef jerky. But usually I start with the gift and a proper introduction before we move forward. All right, so you ready?
Yeah.
All right, so today's guest is a true example of strength, heart, and hustle. Angelica Alcaraz, born and raised in Salinas, she's a proud daughter of immigrants' parents, a devoted mother of 4, and a woman on a mission. From working her way up in the medical field to opening Revive Beauty Bar, Angelica is showing the world what it means to chase your calling while lifting up your community. She's walked through challenges, never backed down, and is now stepping into her next chapter, pursuing her master's to become a nurse practitioner. Her journey is powerful, her spirit is unstoppable, so get ready for some real inspiration.
Nice. Wow, you put in those words just like, that's me.
Yeah. No, thank you for being our sponsor.
You're welcome, yeah.
Thank you for taking the time of your day and being here, to share your journey. I know for some people, it's always difficult to share your journey or just, les da vergüenza, they're shy or whatever. But the fact that you're here, you want to share your journey, that means a lot, and I appreciate that because that's the whole purpose of this podcast, sharing your journey and inspiring others, like, hey, you know what? I can still do it. It's never too late. You know what I mean? So I always like to start also each episode is like, who is Angelica? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, Angelica, let's see. Like
Beyond your titles and achievements, yeah.
I'm just a chill girl, I guess.
Yeah?
yeah. ¿Qué te diré? I don't even know how to answer that question. It's just me. I don't know. Like, Salinas born and raised, teen parent, que todo, nadie le apostaba, Angelica's not going to do anything.
Yeah.
Like your counselors.
Yeah.
All that. Yeah, but besides that, I guess just a regular person, down to earth. Like, I feel like my personality is genuine. I don't try to be something that I'm not. You like me, you don't. I'm sorry, también lo mismo.
You're real.
I'm real. I think I am real. Like I don't like to be fake. Pero la verdad, yeah, just a mother, basically. Todavía hago lonche, todavía hago todo.
Nice, Old school, hell yeah.
I still cook.
A todas las que no hacen lunch, aprendan, aprendan.
Matter of fact, before coming here, ya trapié.
Una empresaria, trabajadora, dude.
Yeah.
Se
So I
rayó
don't
tu
have the
husband.
nails, man.
Se rayó tu husband.
Really? Yeah. Lo que le digo, pero es okay. A ver.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Okay, hey, that's a start. That's a start.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are like, oh, pues, ¿qué digo? No sé
¿Qué
qué.
digo? Sí,
Yeah.
it's me.
Yeah, you know what? After a while, like, what are your hobbies? You siempre decía, I forgot qué decía, but now I'm like, cuando me decían, what are your hobbies? I always say something about me instead of like, what is my hobby? So it's like, what are your hobbies? Well, I like to barbecue. I'm a Raider fan. I like to do this. You know what I mean? So yeah, after a while, it's like I caught on to it, But what is some of your favorite things that you do cuando no estás en trabajando? Yeah, when you're not on working mode, like
spending time with my family, like my boys, my daughter, trying to. I guess I was so used to. I had 4 kids, right? So I'm always busy. Que el soccer, el football. I had 3 different schools to drop off and all this. I was always busy.
Yeah.
So estar con ellos is like my thing is just, a veces me sacan de quicio, they get me, or But anyways, yeah, just being with my family, I guess, spending time with my family
You have
and my mom.
how many
Yeah.
boys and girls do you
I
have?
have 3 boys and 1 girl.
She's a princess.
She's the princess.
Yes.
But
You're like, whoa.
imagine growing up with 3 boys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
imagino.
yeah.
Imagino.
She's sassy.
Well, that's good. At least no se va a dejar que se aprovechen
Oh
de
yeah.
ella,
Oh
you
no,
know?
I'm not worried.
That's
I'm not worried.
perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Obviously, you grew up here in Salinas, California, right? You were born and raised here, and your parents are immigrants, right? How was your childhood growing up?
My childhood. I think I had a good childhood. Pero pues, our working parents, you were always raised by the babysitter or solitos, alone at the house. We grew up by Fremont and Carr Street, so that was our area there. I was actually to take care of my nephew, and then nos dejaban solos, because they had to work. Summers were just, we were out of,
it was
growing.
normal.
Yeah, I was with all the neighborhood kids, riding our bikes, jugando like el cinto, hide the belt, and whoever finds it, whoever gets caught, just being outside kids. I think I had responsibilities as well. Like I had, before I even could go outside, you have to have this clean and all that. But growing up, we were on the poor side, I guess, like not the brand shoes, not the matching pants with lote ponías, whatever you had, right?
You see.
Yeah.
You see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't you think it's amazing or crazy at the same time that ahorita what you just said right now? I remember my mom, my dad would go to work and yo me quedaba también solo in the house. I was the only one. So I was like, I'll be just home chilling,
Yeah. No.
I didn't have no Nintendo, nada.
Nada. We only, not even cable. We just had channel 35 and Alvin
67 or el 8.
I knew all the little songs from Univision, like.
Yeah. Or sí, yo me acuerdo que yo me salía con mis friends a jugar. That was a thing back in the day.
But knock on the neighbor's door, puedes salir.
Yeah, puedes salir, Efraín. Yeah, and I was like, no puedes salir, tienes que hacer tarea. I was like, damn it.
Todas bien triste, you go back.
¿Sabes lo que me caía gordo? Que todos iban a catecismo y yo me tenía que esperar hasta que llegaran todos, hasta como a las 5:36 para poder salir, you know what I mean? I was the only one que no iba a catecismo. My mom no me quería poner, I don't know why.
Yeah.
So yeah, as I got older, I ended up doing it all late.
All late.
Yeah, but do you feel like, tú te sientes como que tú crees que harías lo mismo con tus hijos? Like, obviously your mom and dad had no choice. No te dejaron sola por querer. Or because they wanted to, they were bad parents. It was because they wanted to do a responsibility. Now that you're a mom and you took that route, did you ever feel like you wanted to do that, or felt like any need of, I gotta go to work, just don't open the door to nobody,
There was, most of the time, no, I knew what can happen, when you're home alone. And so, no, casi nunca los dejaba solos. But my mom was always there to watch them, or the babysitter, but they're always with somebody.
I say this
maybe like an hour or two, maybe. Yeah.
No, but the reason why I say this is because how we were brought up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I feel like we kind of shelled them a little bit because we, I guess it's intuitive to protect them and from, things, cosas that can happen. But I think we end up sometimes not letting them be them, like explore. Como nosotros, we were outside, te caías, like, let's go, and it's different because you're trying to overprotect, or maybe we kind of enable them doing their own thing. I feel like we're guilty.
No, the reason why I ask is because I feel like a lot of my friends that we grew up in that era, que nunca lo miramos como negative, like our parents.
That was just part of it. Yeah,
it was just part of life. And I always ask I ask the same question to my friends. I was like, dude, would you guys do that? What your parents did to you, like leave your kids for like 3 or 4 or 5 hours.
Todo Saturday.
Saturday,
5:30 in the morning.
Yeah,
6
p.m. And they're like, you know what? I don't know, dude. You know what I mean? It's like, por eso te pregunto, obviously your parents son de Mexico. You mentioned that your dad is de
San Juan de los Lagos,
Jalisco. Yeah. Beautiful place. Yeah. Y luego tu mamá es de
Cuernavaca, Morelos.
Yeah. And you were born here.
And I was born here. So yeah, they met.
Were you born in Memorial or in the
Memorial?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so tú no naciste allá in the scary place, Natividad.
That's where I work. No, it's not scary.
Oh, so you still work there?
I still work there. I still do night shift there. Yeah.
Damn, girl. And, trabajadora, business owner.
And night shift, eh? So si tengo ojeras, I'm sorry.
Crazy. Hey, mis respetos,
Yeah.
mis respetos. So, obviously, your parents will go to la corrida. ¿Tú te ibas con ellos?
Yes. I did.
Yeah.
It was hard.
What company con ellos trabajaban?
They worked for Manpacking. They were like
okay.
the all Cesar Chavez. Man, that was like all my childhood is,
Yeah. Yeah.
Las huelgas and let's go. That was like our outings on the weekend.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I actually got to meet Cesar Chavez.
Really?
And pass out flyers for him.
Really?
Yeah. At Sherwood Hall.
You know what? I growing up, learning the history of Cesar Chavez and then going to college, I had this one professor at Chicano Studies. The story he told me about Cesar Chavez changed my perspective view of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the good way or bad way?
The bad way.
In the bad way.
Yeah, because we got he showed me a side that nobody knew.
Yeah, there's some
Nobody
I
knew.
read, yeah.
And towards the end of his career, of his age, the resentment, the guilt of what he did to the people, gave him the opportunity to leverage more and do good before, his time ran out. So I was just like, wow, I didn't believe it at first, but then as I started getting more involved in Chicano studies, I kind of dove into that because I couldn't believe it. And I was just like reading articles, stuff like that no salen a la luz, que you have to dig them out.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just, I was like, oh, okay. So sometimes, y llegó a un punto donde I was just like, who are we really representing? Who are we really admiring? Because I remember one time I was wearing this shirt que tenía Che Guevara, un guerrillo de Zapata y Pancho Villa. So I was working y se bajó un cubano o puertorriqueño y me dice, ¿tú sabes qué es lo que tienes ahí en esa camisa? And I was like, what? And I was like, no, pues, Che Guevara, this and that. ¿Tú sabes qué es él? Oh, no. Eso, todos ustedes son ignorantes, piensan que él es alguien grande. Y le dicen, he isn't. Y so me dijo, cuando tengas tiempo, dive into it. And I did. And I was like, holy crap. Well,
let me cut this out.
Yeah, I was like, what was I wearing? You know what I mean? I was like.
Well, the reason yo también I know like I'm never, yo miraba a mis parents, right? Well, everything that they would tell me, what they gained from being part of it. Like maybe earlier on his start, there's a Chavez, maybe, I don't know. But when they did a lot for them too, like in a way where, I guess they used to desajaban en el asador chiquito, they had to be bent over, más agachados. Then they brought the longer one because of all them rights. Yeah. They didn't have bathrooms, all those little things. They couldn't get unemployment because they were from the field. All that little things that actually helped my parents or my family kind of like be afloat, be able to be more humane, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like we talked earlier before the episode, there's pros and cons.
Yeah, there's always
Yeah, there's always going to be something like that. But for me, it was like a shocker because you grew up, this is chiquito, la huelga, Chavez, and the school, elementary school, and it was, no, it was not Chavez, it was Jesse Sanchez.
Jesse Sanchez, and then, but there was a Cesar Chavez.
There's a Cesar Chavez school,
right?
yeah.
I think so.
It was so big, and then as you got older and go to college, you're like, what? Como que alguien hizo scratch el record. ¿Qué pasó?
Yeah. I think they only make it to the books whatever they want us to.
Yeah. Pues sí, es como todo,
There's always like a little, you have to dig in. That's why you can't believe social media.
Yeah.
Porque social media just kind of like hinders like todo lo demás.
It's like I said earlier, social media is a double-edged sword,
It is.
Sometimes it does benefit you and sometimes it doesn't, but I mean, it is society now. Así es, everybody.
Yeah, todo es social media, yeah.
Una vez fui a cenar and I have a thing that I told my wife, I was like, hey, we'll go to dinner, put phones away.
Yeah.
No phones when we're eating dinner. Let's interact. Because it got to a point where we're both, así,
I think that's my problem right now.
And you look around. Oh, no, for her birthday, for her birthday, we went to Villa Azteca, and we were talking, and then I looked around. Everybody's on their phone.
There's no more interaction there.
And I was just like, oh my
God. It's called an addiction, yeah.
Yeah, dude, no me gusta jurar.
Cell phone anonymous. Somebody has to come up with that.
Sí, no me gusta jurar, pero, dude, había una party de 10, todos en sus teléfonos. Y era el cumpleaños de la mamá o de la abuelita. Y luego, to my right, todos en...
O tomando pictures. Oh, this is the fun. It's so fun. But then estos están peleando. Y, ¿no?
Yeah.
El marido y la mujer llegan casi de la greña.
Yeah, so it's just kind of like, what?
But the social media picture is perfect.
Yes. Or you have those that... perfect couple.
Perfect couple.
Pero
That's what I'm saying.
behind the scenes, behind the scenes, sí, como dices tú,
My love took me to dinner. Expensive dinner. And then, ya se lo está cobrando en el carro.
Me debes. Or like, oh, you want to go Havers? Oh, my God. So you grew up in the Fremont, in this area, on the east side, Salinas. So you went to Fremont school or no?
I went to, where was my, Lincoln.
Oh, okay.
Lincoln Elementary, and then I moved around so much. Lincoln Elementary, and then Loma Vista. That was 5th grade, and then Virginia Rockabarden on Las Casitas. Then from there I went to Hardin, and then from Hardin, I was in Arizona. Like I finished like 7th, 8th grade in Arizona, and then came back. Was supposed to go to Salinas High, and then I walk in there because I came from La Corrida, and I was late to register, so we walk in there and I see everybody, and I'm like, Mom, we gotta go. Oh, let's go.
You're like, nope.
Well, this is your school. Like, no, it's not. I'll take the bus.
Yeah.
So I would take the city bus to LSL.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Trojans.
Yes. Yeah.
How was it for you going from one school to another? ¿Cómo te impactó? How did that impact you? Like, did it bother you, or you just got to a point where
I feel like it was just part of the routine. I mean, it was like scary, having to get the teacher and
new friends,
my new friends and everything. Yeah, but I guess it was part of it. So I didn't have a choice, so I just went along with it. Yeah, I feel like that's kind of me. Like I go through something and then it's just like, okay, well.
You didn't feel like sad? You didn't feel like sad? Like, oh man, I gotta move schools again, or I gotta go to Yuma. I'm not gonna see you guys again.
Yeah, it was sad. Yeah, my friends.
Damn. During that journey or those days, ¿tú tenías any aspirations growing up, like any dreams or goals?
No, not at all. Nope.
No, not.
Like I didn't know what I was like. No, like because our parents were not. Okay, this is what you're gonna do. I think I felt like as long as you graduated high school, then you're good. But no, and not even in the school. And that's something that if I can just speak to somebody from, like, or before, but from before, they don't counsel you. They just put you in any class that there's room, and then, andale, just finish that class. You just need those credits. But they're not actually making a plan for you. They don't, I guess they didn't understand that we didn't know that what's out there in the world. So we don't know what we can be or what we can do.
Yeah.
But if it starts there, like, this is what's out there. This is what you can do to get there. This is the steps you need to follow. And then I feel like maybe now I feel like they do, but back then they didn't. So I didn't know.
I agree with you. And Dr. Silva brought it up in the last episode, that, a lot of counselors had a lot of favoritism to those AP students, stuff like that. And you'll see, I got to see that too. And when I'll ask my counselor, he'll look at my credits and be like, bro, just go to Harnell. Yeah. I'm like, dude, but I want to go here. It's like,
oh yeah, that might have been, and me pusieron en choir. You think?
Really?
I was like, okay.
A ver, canta algo.
I still miss her. I mean, like, la la, whatever we had to do. Like, oh my God, I get it. Yeah. And good thing that was then we had to move, so we moved.
You're like, how is being in a choir is gonna help me be successful?
Right? Like, okay, que bueno, la corrida came in at a good time. We gotta move. Yeah.
Hey, so when you're doing the Michael kneeling thing, you're like, la 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 la.
Yeah, exactly. In my rhythms. I know, yeah. But sí, changing schools was difficult. And then teachers that also they don't help you. They're just there.
You know what? I used to criticize teachers a lot. Well, my teachers when I was going to school. But now that I help teachers, on their retirements, they go through a lot.
They do.
They go through a lot, walking in a class where there are like 50 students, 40 students,
And they're rude.
They're rude.
That was my pet peeve. I think that's why I always got in trouble, because I hated it. That like the rude student would like be mean to the teacher.
But back then it was just one or two that was being rude in class.
Yeah, like that one. Yeah, that one kid.
Ahora,
It's like
picture
almost everybody. Is just,
everybody's on their phones. Everybody's like,
yeah, I can't.
you know, like, yeah, like,
yeah.
yeah, and it's just like, I got to see that when I started getting into this journey también as helping teachers. I was like, what the heck, dude? Like, what's going on here? You know, like, you graduate from school, because you never go back to schools again, right? And then going to high schools and seeing kids show up on sweats,
Right.
chanclas. And I was like, yo me acuerdo que me levantaba a
Con
las...
cobija. I seen him walking with
Yeah.
cobijas.
Yo me acuerdo que me levantaba a las 5 de la mañana, tenía toda mi ropa ironed up, my shoes, ready to rock and roll, you know what I mean? Go pick up my friends, esos bien ricos suaves at work, at school, you know? Y con chanclas y sweats.
Y
It's like,
sweats,
what
la
the heck?
cobija, que no falte.
I was like, oh my God. Pero, I mean, now mi respetos a ellos, you know, they deal with a lot of stress.
Yeah, they do. Honestly,
a lot of stress. And it's just like, whoa. And growing up, I didn't see that, you know, like, he's just being a dick, you know, sorry my language. But now I know why, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's just a big
And actually, don't you think that you learn more from the stricter teachers? Como que...
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, como que they push you more. Your English teacher, you know, you can't do this. And
I had a teacher que era a French teacher. I forgot her name. Madame something. Oh my God, she was so mean. So mean, pero I learned a lot.
Yeah. I had a second grade teacher that me pegó.
Really?
Yes, she made me cry, yes.
Wow. I had a fourth grade teacher que se llamaba Mr. Henry. I hated that guy.
Yeah.
He was super mean. Yeah. A todos les mandaba postcards when he was on. A mí no me mandaba no heavyweight. Culero. Fuck you.
Yeah, right? I know, man.
No, pero ¿cómo te pegó? Like, he's not supposed
Mendiga
to.
vieja, you know, like, I was new to that, and it was in Lincoln. I think it was second grade. So we had a copy, like a paragraph from the board. You know those brown papers? They're so thin and they have the little lines to,
Yeah.
I guess, to help you with your writing. Anyways, we had a copy of paragraph. English was my second language, so like, I don't know. So the punctuate, I copied the paragraph, and then I took it to her to get corrected. Well, she read like the first two sentences, and I had a mistake, like a comma or whatever. But she would make me rewrite the paper. So I thought I was smart, and I got my same paper, and I just like, instead of looking at the board, you know, I'm like copying exactly what I wrote down on the first paper. I take it to her again. She reads a little bit lower, like my sentences. It's another mistake, like another period, another comma, and then like she makes me rewrite it. And I didn't learn again. Otra vez, I copied everything, corrected it. I think it was the third, fourth time. And then ya que me salió bien, pues yo ya estaba llorando, right? Like, so, es que le caiga una lágrima.
Oh my God.
So yeah, I had a little like stain. And I went to her, and then she read, and she thought, "What's this?" No, before La Lágrima, I think I took it to her two times. And at the second time, she was like, "Don't you think?" And she hit me like, you know, on my head, like,
Damn.
"You don't think?"
Yeah.
So I was like embarrassed and crying. I went home. I went to my desk and I rewrote it, and that's when like the tear fell. And I take it back for a final review, and she said, "Okay." And then, "What's this?" It was a stain, the lágrima. I didn't even know how to say lágrima in English. I was like, one of these.
Yeah.
You know? And then she's like, and I don't know what she went, but that was like, that I can never forget that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that feeling.
Yeah, yo sí tenía Mr. Henry, and then
Hater.
Yeah. Jerk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's not alive no more.
Mr. Henry, he was an asshole, and then my little brother had him. También he was an asshole, my little brother, because you remember, you know, as you fui a ver my little brother, you have this, and I went off on him. Like, dude, remember you were like this with me when I was, I remember. But it says que estaba con my little brother, so we ended up changing my little brher to another class. Yeah, it was horrible. But other than that, I've always had good teachers.
You know, the más he tenido es, I mean, when I was a kid, and then as an older high school, she pointed at me and she said, "You're just going to be another," well, she was right on one part. "You're just going to end up pregnant, and you're just not going to be anybody. You're just going to be a nobody." And then that's like at LSL in the office, right? I was the attendance person. And I'm like, whatever, lady.
Is she still there?
I think she still is.
You should show up. I can't remember me.
Right? Yeah, that was one. And then the other one was actually nursing counselor.
También?
So I did all my prerequisites. I had like 3.7, I think, was my GPA. And the only thing that was bringing it overall GPA down was a psychology class that I took, that I just didn't even read the book. I just went for the class.
Yeah.
It was my first class ever. So that brought it down. That was my overall GPA because other than that, all my science were A's, right? Because you have to have A's to go into nursing. And I went to go meet with the director and say like, okay, what are my chances or whatever? And she said, you should look into another career. And then like, me salí, like, what do you mean? She's like, yeah, you should look into another career. Like, I don't think nursing is going to be for you. Wow. And me quedé like, what? Ahí casi soltaba las lágrimas, And I'm like, really? Like, why? She's like, no, unfortunately, you're competing with 4.0s. I'm like, yeah, but I was trying to, get a sense into her. I'm working full time. I'm coming night school. These are 3.7 with 4 kids. Yeah. Managing these grades is like not easy. Yeah. And so, yeah, unfortunately, you're competing with 4.0s and, over 4.0s out of state. And I'm like, okay. Yeah. So, and we don't prioritize just because you did your prerequisites here doesn't mean you're going to come in. I'm like, okay. Wow. All right. So I went downstairs, llorando, like, why? Diosito, like, why? I did all this, so many years doing all this work, para que te digan que no. Like, what the heck? Like, what am I going to do now? Yeah. So I talked to the other counselor, and he's like, well, yeah, maybe you should look into respiratory, or you should look into LVN. It's like, that's like the long way into kind of nursing, registered nurse. And I was like, you know what? No. Like, I didn't give up. I'm like, you know what? I'm deciding right now that I don't want to come to your school. Like, in my head, right? Me fui a que lloré como una hora en el carro. Yeah. And I started like applying other schools, and then I went to go meet the counselor at MPC. So he's like, wow. When he saw my grades, he's like, wow, these are awesome grades. Like, it was totally the different vibe. Yeah. And I got in right away. He's like, yeah, we need people like you, like your grades, you're working. And he saw what I was trying to tell the other. Yeah. Like, I'm working, and this is like, it's not easy. So if I manage these grades now, and then he's like, yeah. And I got my letter actually on my birthday.
I feel Harnell is losing a lot of credibility on their nursing program.
Are they?
Because it's the same way. You're not the first that I hear that counselors are like that.
Yeah, they're like, no, the thing is that MPC, like, I had to take a few more classes. So I was like, oh my God, more school, like, I need to get in. Yeah. I had to take, I think 2 or 3 more classes before I can apply. Yeah. And I was like, I'm going to do it. I did it. Y apliqué, and I got in.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So, we'll definitely dive into that. Let me rewind a little bit. What led you to get to nursing? ¿Qué te interesó? What piqued your interest to be a nurse? You're a single mom. Oh, no, not single.
I'm married.
You're a married mom, young age. It was your first baby or second baby? That led you to pursue that career.
First.
So your first baby, right? Obviously, he was premature, and you're like, okay, you know what I mean? Did you, before that, you didn't have no goals or aspirations, like where you wanted?
No, well, I mean, I knew how to work because I've always worked. I worked at Burger King, and, taking orders, but I knew that was like, I can't be here every weekend. I would call off every other weekend. Yeah. It was like, this is a pattern. I understand, but yeah. But yeah, I was a mom at 16, preemie. So he had to be flown to UCSF. So me la pasé ahí, with the nurses and doctors. And you're a kid with the kids, so they don't have respect for you. All they know now that I'm a nurse, and I mean, they do. Yeah. They bash on teen parents,
So you had a bad experience then?
Then, in the deliveries, see, because I didn't even know that I can get out of the bed. Like, so I delivered my baby. Like, I went in, preterm, delivered like in 3 hours. They took my baby to the NICU department, which is the intensive care for the babies. And I didn't know I can get up from bed, that I can go see him, that I can go hug him. Nada, ahí me dejaron. Wow. Yeah. I didn't even have an IV, to be honest, because I delivered so fast. So I was there in bed, and the only people that would come in was like the breakfast and the lunch. And then they came in around, I think it was like 9, 10 a.m. And I go with the flight, the flight crew with my baby in the incubator. Ya se lo llevaba. I'm like, oh my God, like all these tubes out of my baby. I didn't know what that was. Yeah. And then they're like, oh, say hi and bye to your baby. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, where's he going? Like, oh, he needs to be taken to San Francisco. And I'm like, oh my God, how the heck? In my head, like, how the heck am I going to get over there? Like, am I flying with him? Like, no, you're going to have to go. You're not discharged. You have to wait. Y ya, pues se lo llevaron. And then, well, that was one of the things, like, no me hicieron caso. They just left me there. Yeah. And, anyway, ya cuando estaba ya en UCSF, I was there. I learned how to do the gavage feeding, which is like they have tubes in their nose, and I'm like instead of with the bottle, it's like a syringe. You're holding them. I learned a lot from them, and they were like, oh, I like what you guys do, and I like siempre he sido bien preguntona, like always. So like, oh, what's this? How do we do that? And then so there was one nurse. She asked me like, hey, so do you have any plans now? You have a mom, so what are you gonna do? I'm like, no, just, take care of my kid,
Yeah.
And then she's like, no, but really, like, what aspirations do you have? Like, and like, she like me sembró la semillita,
Yeah.
like, I don't know, like, I said, do you like? I like what you're doing. Like, I really, like what you're doing. She's like, well, you can do that. And she kind of like me abrió la ideas, to do that. And I'm like, I think I can do that. Someday.
Yeah. I feel like that was a sign from God, like, that hey, hope is not all lost.
Right?
Yeah, not only this is a blessing, but an opening for you to like, okay, you know what I mean?
I feel like that's like, even though era como like a teen parent, but it was like a push, like, I got to do this for me and for him and, all this.
And the fact that she took the time of her day to address that to you, it goes a long way. You know what I mean? Have you ever thought about like going back or like?
I don't remember her name. Like, I remember her, like, como se miraba, she's really pretty, young, también.
Así estoy yo con una nurse una señora, una front desk lady. Y le digo a mi wife, I think she's an angel from God. She's like, why? Because when I was getting ready to do my surgery, no me querían hacer my surgery at the end because my insurance didn't approve something. Ya sabes cómo son las aseguranzas. And I was like, what do you mean? If I let this stay here, it might get sprayed. I'm all like, I'm a cancer survivor. So I was like, I was freaking out. I was just like, and then I remember her walking in. She's like, come in. Don't worry. I'll take care of it. I got prepped, got surgery, got out. And I told my wife, let's go back. After like a month, we went back. Y no me sabía cómo se llamaba. I kept going to see si me la topaba. No me la topaba. No la encontré. Estoy en la señora.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I was just like, whoa.
Yeah, nursing is not, like, a lot of people that are coming into nursing don't know, like, it's deeper than just, getting your paycheck. Yeah. It's deeper because you actually have connections with the parent, like the mom. Like, I work labor and delivery right now. I did step down ICU for a few months because of that was hard for me. It was really hard to, not as like work-wise, but just like el sentimiento that, you get attached to that patient and then like you're more to death, like como más cerquitas. Yeah. Y todos se me imaginaban como mi dad, mi grandma, and it's just like, it was too much. I mean, labor and delivery is not always a happy place porque, tiene que ser, but sometimes there's like cases that you take. Yeah. So basically, to all nursing, all the people want to come in nursing, you got to be ready. You have to actually have the urge to help, the need to help, because
what about those nurses? They're like just like cold. Numb.
They've been nurses too long, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're burned out. I mean, we work very hard, and then we try to do more than what we're given the tools to work with. So we're basically, como siempre, understaffed, or and it's always fighting with management. Like, hey, you got to understand that it's not just, esto, like, there's more things to do. Yeah. And to be with them, and it's so siempre, like, we work pretty hard and we are stretched to the max. A veces como,
I can imagine. So at 16, you had that conversation with that nurse. Mm-hmm. Te dijo, hey, you can do it. Yeah. Your journey started there?
No. I would tener otro kid. 18. Okay, so I was, of course, I was not going to Alice anymore. I couldn't go back, so I went to Mount Toro.
That's where you got your GED.
Pues no, también me sacaron de Mount Toro. And the reason why, it was not because I was bad. It was because actually it was way ahead of credits. I was going to graduate earlier. Mm-hmm. But I turned 18 and I had to miss a lot because my son estaba, se me enfermaba, le daba como like asthma or así. Yeah. So I would stay home with him. And I had a lot of absence. I was already 18. So me dijo, no, you need to go to adult school now. Oh, wow. I'm like, why? Yeah. I'm almost done. I just needed, like, I think it was 12 credits. Uh-huh. And she's like, no, I told you can't be missing. Quería que lo llevara, because they had a daycare there. Yeah. That was one of our electives, being there in the daycare with them. Dijo, no, you can bring him here. I'm like, but he's sick. you know, like, and then los tenían sin zapatos y con las little onesies nomás, and it's so freaking cold, and you know, nosotros los tapamos hasta que.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, I'm not bringing them here. So yeah, me sacó. And then I went to adult school, and they told me like the process to get a GED. I'm like, oh my God. He's like, you know what? Let me challenge it. How much can I challenge the test? And then she's like, yeah, you can. I'm all right. How much is it? And then I had to pay, I think, I don't remember how much it was, 64 or something.
So you bypassed the school?
Sí.
You went straight to the test?
Sí.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So I went, I took the test, and I'm like, I know this.
Y lo pasaste.
Yeah, lo pasé, and I like with flying colors, yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, I had to take the 3, yeah. So no sabía. I didn't even know que lo había pasado hasta que me llegó on by mail.
Hell yeah.
I'm like, oh, I guess I got a GED.
So you're 18. You have 2 kids already, huh?
2 kids.
You already got your GED, and then the journey started there, o todavía te esperaste?
¿Qué te diré? No,
Otro baby.
No. So no, I had to get a job, right? So, and I wasn't going to be working at McDonald's. So me fui a trabajar el child support. I worked for the county.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Pero en el mailroom, you know, like, but it was a county job. So then from there, no me gustaba, me tenían encerrada, and I was being like a people person. I need to be, I can't just be being, entre files. So I started working in a chiropractor's office. And then from there it started. I went to like, okay, I can't be just being a receptionist this whole time. Like, siempre I would always get there and I'm like, okay, I learned the job, now what?
Yeah.
And that's always been me, like, I learned the job, now what? Okay, so then, you know what, I'm going to be a medical assistant. Mm-hmm. So I went to Central Coast College. I graduated as a medical assistant. I started working, where did I start working? I think it was a doctor's on duty. I did my hours, and then they hired me at a, it was funny, at a kidney, ¿cómo se llama? Nephrologist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he, and they asked me, the girl asked me, like, hey, well, how much do you want to make? New graduate, right? You know, being, well, I want to be making like 18, well, back then, like $18 an hour. And she looks at me, right? And she's like, está loca, you know, because the minimum wage is what, like 10 or something?
Back then?
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, like 18. Because the only reason why I came up with that number was because in school they made us do, like, this is your bill, this is the minimum you need to be making to be survived, because, you know, we did a whole thing. So you need to aim for this much. Pues yo le eché todavía, you know, a couple $1 more.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, you know?
And you know what she tells me? Okay, you're starting at 21.
Oh, you're like, hell yeah.
And I'm okay. And I'm like, I was excited. She got me a desk and she got everything ready for me. And then I started seeing the patients. Well, they're really sick. I was a new graduate, no todavía no tenía experience, right? No arms, no legs, a lot of medicine. It's like, like, I don't think I want to.
Yeah.
Como me dio miedo, basically. Me dio miedo because I was a new grad to mess up in something, because that was their health on the line. You know, like, what if I write something wrong? What if y me dio miedo. I did doubt myself. Like, you know, like, okay. So I left. After like a month, I think I was. Ni por el cheque regresé.
Damn.
Yeah, I called and said, you know what, I can't. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then, pues, anyway, so I did that. Then I ended up in the county clinics. And there's where I sí me quedé. Ahí me quedé. I got my experience. And then that's where I was working. And it took me forever to do my prerequisites.
At Juan Avila Photography, we specialize in capturing decisive headshots and portraits that tell your unique story. Serving Salinas, Monterey County, and beyond, our high-quality images reflect your professionalism and authenticity. Whether for corporate teams, executives, or personal branding, let us elevate your image with headshots tailored to your needs. Book your session today.
How hard was it for you to balance being a mom, going to school, and before you started doing your prerequisites to go to nursing school? Like, ¿qué tan fuerte fue para ti, managing all that? And knowing that you're going to start a job and getting $21 an hour, not knowing what you were going to get into. You know, like, how hard was it? Because I know that there's a lot of girls out there that are like, oh my God, it's so hard. Or like, but you're an inspiration.
It's hard. It was hard. I have friends that have tried it and they're like, how did you do it? Like, I don't know. I just did it. Like, I didn't have any like deviation. You know, I was like, that's where I'm going. And that's what I'm like, whatever it takes me. If this is the little hurdle I need to jump, I'm going to jump it and see how I do it, you know?
Yeah.
Basically, so yeah, it was hard because I had to still be a mom. I still have to come home and cook, lonche, you know?
Be a wife.
Yeah, be a wife, be a mom, and then still be in my kids' sports. I still try to put them in sports because I need to keep them busy.
Did your husband ever felt like, hey, you know what, babe, I'll help you out or anything? Or
He was supportive because, trabajaba siempre de noche, so he was basically, I kind of was married, but kind of single because siempre,
no se
he
miraban.
was, like he would come in and él dormía en el día and then he would work all night, get out at 7, I would go to work. My lunchtime, I would come home. I live really close. That's why when we bought our house, it was really close to Natividad. I would come home, do the food, dinner for the kids. So when they come out of school, they had a plate. And then with their names y todo, you know. And then go back to work. A veces I wouldn't even have lunch. I would be eating my lunch in the car or like, later, come back. And then from there, go to school, come back home like at 10 p.m. because I was going night school 6 to 9, 9:30.
It's inspirational, dude.
Yeah, man, it was hard.
Yeah, I admire you because whoever thinks out there that they cannot do it or they don't have enough time, you make time.
Yeah.
You see, if you really want it, you'll make that time. Como, no sé, you'll just figure it out.
Sabes,
You'll
it's
just
stressful.
figure
Like,
it
I think
out.
back, I'm like, man, like I still was todas mis duties, as a mom, as a wife, as a work, mi trabajo, and then school, and like, okay, like,
Did
how
you
did
ever
I do that?
Did you ever feel like, I mean, obviously, como tu friend, how do you do it? You're like, I don't know, I just do it. But deep down inside of you, did you just feel like you needed to do it?
I do. I think I owed it.
Las ganas, yeah, las ganas to be accomplish that dream.
Because my dad, me acuerdo, me llevaba al field, to cortar broccoli. I worked there too. As a kid, like a summer, me llevaba en el summer, and so tienes que meterle el huevo, because you don't want to end up here. I'm like, oh man.
Yeah.
Like,
my dad used to do the same thing. ¿Quieres ser
4:30
cholo?
in the
¿Quieres ser cholo?
4:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Yo todavía dormía en el bus.
Damn.
And so cold to get out there. And it was rain or shine. Lo del broccoli siempre trabajaban, rain or shine,
But that's why you are who you are. You're very humble. Por lo poquito que estamos interacting. Even through message, and all stuff like that, you have a nice spirit. You're very humble and you carry yourself great because the trials and the challenge you face throughout your life, to get to where you're at right now. And that was shaped you to be the person you are right now. So I feel like you learn a lot and you're a better person, a better version of yourself right now. Yeah. Obviously, you go to prerequisites of that, and then you get into MPC. That's when you say you went to MPC, ¿verdad? You're going through your journey in MPC. You're driving to MPC every what?
Lágrima, every day, Monday through Friday.
Like, but it was durante el día or la night?
On el día. After on nursing? In the mornings.
What was it, like 8 to 5?
We had to be there because if you're on time, you're late. You have to be early. So that's the thing they tell you.
Oh, wow.
We start at 9, you need to be here at 8:30, And then, and then traffic is horrible to Monterey in the morning. So get up early, get the kids ready to school, y vámonos.
So you were not working during that time?
No, I had to leave my job.
So it was 8 to 5? Or, 8:30
No. Basically, nursing is como 9 to 11:30, right? But there's so much that you need to do that you stay there to review, do notes, and study. Yeah, it's a lot.
Group study.
Yeah.
Did you make any friends that you're still friends with?
Yeah? Actually, we work together. Yeah,
Nice.
I deliver one of her babies.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
What challenges you faced through that besides
Híjoles,
being
que
a
sí te decía.
mom?
Nursing school was tears.
Yeah.
It's honestly like I tried keeping up the same rhythm I had, like working and being able to do the super mom and todavía hacer todo, but you can't. In nursing school, sí, nomás you can't.
Really?
Yeah, this is where my mom, man.
She stepped up.
Yep.
Shout out to your mom. ¿Cómo se llama tu mamá?
Bernardina.
Shout out to Bernardina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Okay, hold on. But yeah, it was hard porque te voy a decir lo que pasó el first semester, casi me sacan because I still wanted to keep up with the same, like los kids y esto y el otro. And que llego tarde a un test.
No.
Dang.
Yeah.
Luego que se me olvida el badge one day, because when you go to the hospital, you have to have a badge, right?
Yeah.
Y había cambiado de carro. Like I think I was taking my husband's car or whatever, and I left everything ready in my trunk. I'm like, okay, because I need it. I live in the trunk. And que me llevo in the morning the other car because I was going to be late. And it was parked behind me. I'm like, I'll just take this one. So I get there to clinicals. I have no freaking badge.
Oh, no.
Ay, y luego que la maestra is like, she made a big old deal.
Yeah,
of
course. Yeah.
She made me feel like, así chiquitita.
Yeah.
Like, oh, shit. And then the next time, that was one of them. the things I had against me. And then que vino la family de mi husband de Mexico, and then they wanted to go to Disneyland, and they were like, okay, let's go to Disneyland. Y ahí voy. But I had all my little flashcards, so I'm like, oh, I can study en las líneas del Disney. You know, they're so long. Those were my flashcards. And I actually was studying. I kind of like...
But were you like on vacation during school?
No, era como el weekend. Era like it was like like...
So te la rifaste.
Yeah, I got this. Like, I think I got this. Yeah, right. So anyway, and actually I think I was pretty prepared for the test. So we went to Disneyland, we come back, and then I leave my phone in the island in the kitchen. So the alarm was going off crazy. And then my sister-in-law was like, ¿Estás orando un teléfono? I'm like, you know, and it was my test day. And then on test days, you have to be there at 8. So that means that you have to be there at 7:45 or 7:30. So again, unless, I think I made it exactly at 8:01 when I was going to open the door. But, man, te creces con el respect and then like the embarrassment. I don't know that there's like this thing. So she had said before, like, if you show up late, don't even come. Like, you're not going to, like, don't even knock at my door. So se me quedó eso, right? And I'm like, damn, I'm going to walk in. They're going to look at me like a, you know, me va a dar vergüenza, right? 8:01. So I sit there and I'm like, and I no abrí la puerta. No, like, I should have had the guts. I should have had the guts.
So what'd you do? You just stayed outside?
Me quedé afuera a chillar.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And then, like, the test was over. And then I told her, she's like, oh, you should have just came in. You know, like, you just tell me this. So basically, I had an F my first semester of nursing school because of that.
Oh, wow.
So even though my other tests, like all my other tests, first semester were A's, thank God. And then at the end, I had to retake the first test. I already had points deducted. So that means I had to get an A in order for me to get a B, you know, to todavía pasar. Because our minimum passing grade was 75. Okay. So I take the test, I ace the test, and I got like an 89. I almost got a 90%, even with the... Yeah, but that was towards the end. Like, all semester, I didn't qualify for scholarship because I was in bad standing. So I didn't qualify for...
So you were paying out of pocket?
No, actually, no. I actually got 8, pero the actual grants que dan in nursing, there's like scholarships.
Oh, okay.
There's certain scholarships that are like, you know, to help you out. No califiqué because I wasn't, you have to be in good standing, and I wasn't. So I missed out on those.
Oh, wow.
So it was hard.
You brought something very, very important to me that if it wasn't for your mom, you don't know where you, like, qué tan fuerte or how impactful or how difficult would it have been for you. I mean, you already faced challenges through your, you know, career or growing up as a mom, young mom, y lo que viene, pues, you know, what comes with it, you know, being a wife, duties at home and stuff like that. You brought up, like, your mom step up. She helped you out. She knew what you wanted to do. She knew what you wanted to do. She was there. She was a shoulder. She helped you out. Do you feel
every second? Yeah.
Do you feel sometimes we as sons or daughters take our parents for granted sometimes?
Yes.
We do, huh? And the reason que te digo eso is because mis parents live in Texas. They live in Texas. So I try to call them, FaceTime every time possible. Every second or time that I have, you know, because yo no los tengo aquí conmigo, you know. And every time I have friends that have their parents, don't even say what's up to them or not even phone calls. Like, bro, you know.
I had a nurse, like, say her mom is sick, right? And she needs to, no sé si la tienen que cuidar and todo, but she was expressing, like, I can't take care of her. Like, she was just saying, oh, like, yo no puedo. But she's like a white lady, right?
Yeah.
She's like, I can't take care of my mom. I can't deal with her. Like, I can't. And I was like, oh my God, I was there like, oh my God, why?
Yeah.
Like, in my head, I wanted to tell her, like, you're preaching to the wrong person, because I don't know if us as our culture is we take care of our elder.
Yeah.
Like, we don't,
Yeah, we do.
it's, se mira, like, very mal que los vayas a meter a un, you know, like an asilo. Yeah. We deal with it, I guess. Like, we care for them.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I felt like, oh my God, like, no, like, okay. I didn't even know what to tell her.
Yeah, so don't take your parents for granted.
Yeah, no,
people.
you don't.
Yeah.
There's days, there's not every day that I don't call my mom. There's no day that I FaceTime her. That's why I got an iPhone. Yeah, I got to face, because if I'm in Mexico, I'm always calling her. Like, ¿Dónde anda? And
¿Es tu papá también todo?
No, my dad passed away, and that's the other part. Because one of the hard hits I took, because when I got pregnant at 16, my dad was mad at me, so ya no me hablaba. He was very like, él era,
like old school.
He was old school, like, no. Y me llevó la attorneys y que me quería casar, because no quería que estuviera más juntada. And, yeah, no me hablaba. And,
How long did it took for him to start talking to you?
well, that's the thing. Here's the thing. So me alivié, right? He didn't talk to me after I got pregnant, right? So ya no me habló. Then he was retiring. He was going to move to San Juan. And he fue a tocar at my house to say bye to my mom. Because my mom and him, they were going to retire and go to live in Mexico. But my mom was doing the citizenship, so she had to stay behind.
Yeah.
So my son was born, and yo tenía miedo enseñarle a mi hijo because, like, me iba a decir, sácate, you know the way he was very strong. So I didn't want to have that feeling from him. So my dad se quedó en la puerta, and my son was facing away from the door. And he came to say bye. Sorry about
We're
that.
back. We're back.
Sorry about that. Sorry.
No worries. Memories.
Yeah, memories.
El sentimiento.
I think that, yeah, that's yeah. So basically, yeah, that was the last time I saw my dad. He came to say bye to my mom to make sure que, she was going to follow him later. And then I approached him, and then he gave me a hug, and he gave me a kiss. Then I seen him drive away. Oh, wow. And then that's it. Pero no conoció a mi hijo.
No?
No.
He didn't even bother to...
No, he didn't ask, and I didn't want to. I feel like me iba a dar más, like, que fuera a despreciar a mi hijo.
Yeah.
But later on, he called, and then he's like, "Eres tú, mija?" And he started talking to him. So, like, I was really happy que me hablara.
Yeah.
So he's like, "Sí, oiga, mi mamá va a ir para allá, puedo ir con usted, can I?" He's like, "Sí, vente, mija, y te traes a tu hijo, y aquí tengo el cuarto, like, I already have it ready for you guys, blah, blah, blah." Está bien. So that happened. So we got our tickets. So ya tenía, like, el vuelo todo listo. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to go meet my dad, and he's going to meet my kid. The weekend before, fuimos a comprar los belices. No sé si te acuerdas, we would go to La Pulga a comprar los belices. Llegamos, y ya cuando llegamos el domingo, estaba mi sister. Mi sister no es hija de mi dad, right? So, pero, yeah, she's my sister con su husband. They're standing at the doorstep of my house. I'm like, yeah, what are they doing here, And then they're like, we're going to tell you something. And then they give us the news that he passed away.
So you didn't get to see him? You didn't get to see him? Damn, that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, in a car accident thing.
Wow. Damn.
It's hard.
Yeah.
But ni modo, you gotta move on.
Yeah.
Okay. You got it.
It's okay, take your time.
Yeah, so I feel like
that's... llorar a mí también.
Sorry.
Los hombres sí lloran, ¿eh? Los hombres sí lloran.
Yeah.
Damn, that's powerful,
Yeah, so if you ever want to see me cry, nomás acuerdan de mi dad.
Yeah? Oh, my God.
That's it. Pero anyways, yeah. Es lo que me ha dejado como... Yo pienso que siempre he tenido eso como que I owe it to them, I owe it. They have, like, a lot of sacrifices, so it was like, yeah.
Pero en ese tiempo, cuando ibas a ir a verlo allá, you were so excited because I'm sure you were like, oh, we're going to make amends, we're going to be good.
Yeah.
Were you still going to nursing school? Or
no, nursing school.
You were still young?
Yeah, I was still young. I was 16. I was 17, yeah, 16.
So like 17, 18. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was still back then, yeah. Pero aquí, I started nursing school, I graduated nursing school 2016. So it's yeah. Pero that was where I need to do something. I just can't, I don't see myself just being a mom or being here on welfare, todo, like, just staying, do nothing. No, I have to do something.
You had to prove something.
Yeah, like, I feel like I had to, like, I don't know where, I didn't know what.
Yeah, exactly. But you just felt like you had to.
Yeah, because siempre me decía, no vas a andar aquí en los files, estudia. Y me llevaba, te digo, que iba a la oficina de César Chávez, no sabía escribir mi dad, like, no sabía, like, so he would tell me, ay, escríbele, like, he would do a letter for the people, and he would be like, be with those old typewriters, So,
big old typewriters out.
Yeah. So I would do, like, a little something there, and, yeah.
Wow, that's powerful. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. I know that was not easy.
It's not.
It's
not.
It was very difficult to share. Pero, pues, unfortunately, I know it would have been nice if you guys would have reconnected again. But fast forward, you finish school, right? You're like, okay, I did it.
Okay, yeah, I did it. No me la creía.
I'm gonna do you guys do like a ceremony for graduation?
We
and all
do.
that stuff?
Nurse.
So, okay, yo estoy aquí. You know, I wish my dad would be here, my mom's here, my husband, my kids. Like, ¿qué sentimiento tenías en ese momento? Like, how happy you were? Or did you still feel like...
I felt like accomplished. Like, I felt like, man, like, it's so hard. And especially, well, of course, in PC, a veces, like, more, you know, there's not a lot of Hispanic. You're like the little beaner, yeah. You know, I mean, you are, you know, it is what it is. Yes, so yeah, I feel like me sentía like I was proud of myself. I was really proud.
What was the hardest thing to do going to nursing school? Like, ¿qué subject was hard for you?
Oh,
Like,
endocrine.
what's that?
Endocrine, like como todo el pancreas and all the...
Really?
Yeah, there's a bunch. Yeah, that's...
Wow. Right now that you were talking about, you know, being a nurse, what it means to be a nurse, you know, the things that you go through. I remember when I was going through my chemo and everything, I always had good nurses. Todas me tocaron bien, except one. Una, oh my God, me agarraba la mano bien gacho y todo. No le decía nada. Hasta que le dije, hey, you're having a bad day today or what? She's like, why?
You put them on check. Because sometimes I feel like they're on the go and they're so busy that they don't realize that you're actually transmitting that energy.
Yeah, like, you're being rude. Like, you're being really, really rude. If you're going to continue with that attitude, I don't want you to be my nurse.
Yeah, but imagínate, like, a lot of our community that doesn't do that can't speak up because they feel they have to take it. I hate that.
Yeah, pero yo se lo dije porque I give her a lot of opportunities. I started conversation with her, you know, and everything. No se prestaba. Entonces le dije, hey, you're having a bad day? She's like, why? Because you're being really, really rude. I understand sometimes your job, you know, brings a lot of pressure. But, you know, is it going to be like that so I can get somebody else, you know? Yeah, she took a deep breath. She's like, yeah, it's been a long day. I've been working a lot of hours.
I see both as like los dos lados, and I mean, some don't have excuse, right? Pero sí.
She did apologize, and then when she left, she came back. She's a different person.
Yeah, totally different person.
Different person, you know? But, so... Eso was the biggest challenge, which is like, what is it? What is it's a topic you said. What was it again?
Endocrine?
Yeah.
Pues todo, because you have to, everything runs, your body runs on that, right? Like todo, like aparte del heart, you know, you just learn the heart of the. So basically, lo que es nursing school is like they don't ask you a question. Es como te dicen, is this tomato red? How red is it? You know, and then they give you all the right answers, but you just have to pick the most appropriate. So it's your critical thinking skills que vas a empezar. So in order for you to answer a question, it's not like a black and white question. Nomás is you have to work. They trick you in the question, and there's like one word that'll make it true or make it false.
Right.
So if you you have to learn how to work it backwards. Like, okay, so si el páncreas hace esto y el hace el liver, and then this is, you know, you have to kind of think that way.
Two,
yes.
Yeah.
So there's like a lot of things que, you know, it works.
What is one thing that it was crazy that you ever dealt with working on that? You worked in the ICU, huh?
I work step down, como cuando salen de ICU, que they're kind of stable, but not really
you
stable.
You never worked in the ER?
No, that was one of my other choice, but I feel like labor and delivery we're an emergency room actually, but it's just that we're dealing with mom and baby because we see everything like an emergency room, but pregnant.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So basically it's a little bit more, más igual, es lo mismo, but we don't get los que nos están gritando, you know. Especially in Natura, you get a lot of like people that are.
I share that with Dr. Silva, donde I did my hours. Y no, hombre, dude, I was just like, yo salí bien estresado. I was like, I don't think I want to do this. I just took the class because I needed to take a class. What class did you take? I took EMT.
Oh,
You know, I'm not doing it because I was like, okay, I need help with my taxes. So at least it shows up paying for school, right? Pues I had to do those hours. Oh my God, you know, like, no. 12 horas para mí was enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I saw a lot of stuff.
Go, huh?
Yeah, but anything that you que tú remember that has been crazy that you want to share that you like experienced as a nurse or anything?
I can't say specifics, pero sí tengo una. It was also hard también. When you're taking care of a patient and then, you know, you have heart tones y todo, you know, and all of a sudden, like, you have no heart tones. And then you have to tell the mom, I'm sorry, your baby, you know? Like, she wakes up from the emergency C-section and then you got to give her the news. Like, she's out of it, right? And then when she wakes up, she's asking you, why does my baby have all these tubes out of their, you know, because once the baby passes and they're working on them, they have tubes. They can't extubate them until the corner, todo lo que va a pasar, right?
Yeah.
So when the mom is holding them and
tubes.
she wakes up and then she sees like, oh, ¿por qué mi baby no se mueve? It's like, oh my God. You know, ahí te pones a llorar. Te pones a llorar and, you know, and it's hard because you already cared for her the whole night or the whole night, and then something like that to happen and then have him to see them go through their pain. Yeah. It's not easy. It's hard.
Does that stresses you out? Do you bring that stress at home? Or?
Esa vez, sí. Like, esa vez, sí. I didn't want to be a nurse anymore. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to go do something else.
Really?
Yeah, like me acostaba llorando, me levantaba llorando, me bañaba llorando. It was, I think I fell like into a...
Because you're a mom.
Yeah, like, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the other cases también where like the baby, I know que ya viene malito and it's going to pass, you know, going to have maybe a few hours. And then you start thinking how lucky you are to have your children that are healthy. And then you just got to snap out of it because I'll be in the OR and I start thinking, I'm like, y quiero llorar. I'm like, no. Cálmate, you know, you gotta be, you know,
wow.
But it's hard.
Wow. All right, let's shift gears to your motherhood and motivation. You raised your 3 boys here in Salinas, right? And you said that one of the biggest accomplishments was that they were not involved in gangs. Yes. That's huge.
It is huge. Growing up in Salinas, us being around gangs and, you know, like, ese era mi goal. I think I even though I left them like with my mom a lot, because I was in school and all this, I still was like, no, you can't be wearing this, right? You can't be wearing this, like, y siempre los tenía como en algo, like I know I needed to not just have them, you know, hacer lo que sea, like they had to be in soccer and
keep them busy.
Keep them busy. Nada más que tengo uno que son gamers, no lo puedo quitar que sea, you know? So I know he was in the gamer que está dentro.
Hey, dile, hey, I heard that there's, you get paid to stream. So,
right?
Órale.
I know, I tell him, you need to. But anyways, I said on my biggest thing, tenía miedo, eso. Because especially, you know, aquí, you know.
We have that stigma. If you live in the east side, your kids are going to grow up to be cholos. And so far, I mean, I grew up in La Costa Plaza. I mean, I hung around with them and stuff like that. But gracias a Dios, I feel like my mom and my dad were always on me. That I was never decided to take that route. I know some of my friends did, but I feel at the end of the day, it was just how your parents were involved with you.
Yeah.
But we do have that stigma. You know, I remember my I think some uncles will tell my mom, "Oh, Junior's gonna be a cholo." I guarantee.
They really like designate.
Yeah, it's like, dude, really, you know. No. But you know, what was your parenting philosophy? You know, like, okay, you mentioned that no te vas a vestir así, you're not gonna wear this, you're not wear that. You just felt like, hey, I need to keep them busy. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I do keep them busy, and I, you know, tell them stories, cosas, you know, and but yeah, like, I don't know. La verdad no sé ni cómo le hice, but I just kind of like, it's like, órale, a limpiar y a trapear, you know.
Engaging video content can drive your business forward. We specialize in creating professional corporate videos and commercials tailored to your brand. Collaborative ideas help display your vision. Let's elevate your business today. LC1 Productions, crafting stories that matter.
So, how long have you been married?
With my husband, 23 años today. Wow. Well, not today, this year.
26 años. Apenas llevo 10, es una eternidad.
Así se siente.
¿Verdad?
You just gotta roll with it, man.
What is the secret to maintain a strong relationship while chasing your dreams?
Man, I feel like it has to be a lot with confianza because luego empiezan, de seguro me vas a dejar, you know, because vas a ganar
you make more money.
Yeah, you make more money. And this and they start like that. I mean, it's like, you know what? If I'm going to leave somebody, it's because how they treat me, not because like, you know, like, oh, ya agarro dinero, ya me voy. Yeah. You know, why? What am I going to go do? You know, I'm trying to do this for us. Yeah. So, eso, la confianza más que nada, you know, confianza in each other. I mean, you go to a rough time like a lot because you don't have the time for him, you know. You know, there was family parties that I didn't get to go to because I need to study for my test. And then I would go, comía, like, okay, ya me voy. Y todos like,
Sacrifice.
Sacrifice. I know.
And a lot of people don't understand that.
No, they don't understand it. They see it as a bad way. Like, se está yendo, no quiere, whatever. Pero I had a goal, so I had.
You just shut that down. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, ¿por qué trabajas tanto? ¿Por qué esto? ¿Por qué? Because I want something.
Yeah. Now, walk us through it or let us know cómo empezó la idea de Revive. How did that happen?
So, pues siempre había sido yo el patito feo, right? Siempre, right? Like no brand, no nada, always like trying to do something. So basically during COVID, working labor and delivery, well, let me back up a little bit. Before nursing, me gustaba hacer like hair, but I never did hair, but I always like thought about maybe just doing hair, but then it was like looked down upon, I guess. Una vez se lo mencioné a mi husband, and he's like, ¿qué vas a hacer haciendo pelo? Like it was a bad thing.
They get paid pretty good.
Yes, they do. You don't have the idea. But
yo no sabía que mujeres pagan como $300, $400 por un pelo, ¿verdad?
A touch of $110, like,
Minimum, dude. Nada más miro el bill, me dice mi wife, voy con Tina. Shout out to Tina. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I was like, what? ¿Qué te hizo? ¿Qué?
Vienes igual.
Te hizo trasplante de pelo, güey. Pero no, like, cada quien, ¿verdad?
Yeah. But yeah, so, a ver, ¿en qué estamos?
Oh, you wanted to do hair?
And yeah. And then, well, that I didn't do. So, but then tenía esa espinita, just to help, pues arreglar a girls or whatever, Barbies, Y siempre decía, voy a tener una niña, y puro hombre tenía. I'm going to do her hair, and this and that. So during COVID, it was hard times at the hospital. That's where I felt like, imagínate traer ese suit y la máscara que te apretaba la cara así, like, feo, right? Y salías con scars, ya tenía aquí scars, acne de tanta máscara.
Se te irritaba la piel como a mí.
Ándale así, sí. Y luego I was wearing the mask, y te aprieto los ojos, then it's hot, traes una bata de hule, you're pushing you're helping her, you're trying to have this baby be born. You're hot. It was just too much. And scared that you're going to get sick, and then you're going to get your family sick, and then what? And then, venía y me quitaba la ropa en el garage, y ahí dejaba mi stuff, and then I would just put in a bolsita, and then go in there, take a shower, y así. It was too much. I'm like, I need to start doing something, and then, so siempre me había gustado eso de beauty. I didn't know exactly what. Empecé haciendo eyebrows, permanent makeup.
Oh,
so,
okay.
So you know how 90s, we were victims of the 90s con the little freaking
the Sharpie?
The Sharpie. When I was looking for a name for Revive, my son, when he said, you should do like Sharpie no more, like.
That's a good one.
I'm like, shut up. But anyways, so I took the trainings for permanent makeup, and then así empecé a abrir Revive con mi pura sillita. It was empty, no nomás la sillita, and I was just doing, and it's hard to find people to trust you, right?
Yeah.
To tattoo their face. So, así empecé, and then I was like, you know what, I need to quiero más, like, I want more, like, as a nurse, like, I can do more.
So you were doing that on your days off?
On my days off, on my days off. So, like, as a nurse, le puedo hacer poquito más, I'm going to put this degree to work or something, right? So I wanted to empezar a hacer lo de Botox and, like, all of the aesthetic stuff. But for that, you need a doctor. You need a doctor to be your medical director, yes. They need to supervise and make sure you're doing
lo que te iba a preguntar, porque mire que tienes otra muchacha ahí contigo, ¿verdad?
She's my medical director,
So she's a
Dr. Dolores Silva, yeah.
¿Dónde es doctor?
I mean, Silva Peña, oh my God, ya no va a querer hacer. Sorry. Dolores Peña. Oh my God, you gonna edit that?
Yeah, voy a edit that.
So she's my medical director, yeah. La conocí in the Tiverton Hospital. She was doing her residency. And then we just clicked.
¿Dónde está ella ahorita?
Ella trabajaba for the county clinics, and now right now she's at Taylor Farms Health Center in Gonzales.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and she, we met, and then I just threw it out there like, hey, will you be willing? And she's like, well, like, before I be a medical director, quiero saber, I don't say no, but I actually want to know what I'm doing. So later on, she graduated, and then she said like, let's do it. And we went to Beverly Hills, and we went to the doctor who trained as a plastic surgeon that nos enseñó, and we took it, and then we just little by little we started getting everything ready, because there's a lot of stuff they need to do. It's like man, like starting a business is no joke, man. It's otro stress que me eché, you know.
It's not easy.
It's not easy. It's not
Yeah.
easy. It's like so many permits. Y que ahora que luego everybody gatekeeps. Quieres preguntar algo? It's like, oh, well, I don't know. It might be this one. You know, like, just tell me the freaking answer. You know, like, a mí se me preguntan es, yeah, I did this. I don't.
¿Qué me vas a dar? ¿Qué me vas a un
like,
paro? Yeah.
or if you want this form, pay $300. You know, like online, you go and try to get like policies and procedures y todo ya hechos, and they charge a bunch. So it's like, man.
Wow.
So anyways, so little investigando aquí, investigando acá, I kind of figured out how to do it, hire the attorneys, and then to make it legal. We made a contract, and then.
So she's your business partner?
She is my medical director, sí.
Oh, okay.
So basically, it's like I'm the management company of her corporation. So she has to build a corporation for me to be able to manage. Yeah, so that's how she was.
So even though it's your entity, but it's under her.
It's under her entity, yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. I didn't know
Yeah,
that. I thought you guys were just business partners. Así, let's do this.
Yes. Well, sí, no, ¿verdad? Because but
so ella, when does she comes in?
She comes in once a month to make sure that I'm like
doing your stuff,
doing my stuff, that my charts are signed, that I didn't do anything else, that my notes are good, and that you know, next.
Because at the end of the day, it's her name. So
exactly. Like if I do mess up, it's like a
oh wow, that's crazy.
So I make sure that like if I'm gonna dose somebody in a certain way, it's like okay, she knows that that's happening. So ella me tiene parameters como if this happens, this and this. Up to this much you can do, and then as long as I follow that, I'm good.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So obviously you said that it's not easy.
It's not.
You know, you face trials, challenges. You know,
conoces gente. You know,
yeah, conoces gente.
You see who they really are.
Yeah, we'll touch that.
Yeah.
Right? You know, during those times that you were trying to get people like to help you out and stuff like that, you know, did you face any more pushback? Like, what do you want to do that for?
Like, why? Yeah, see. Like, it's okay. Like, y tu negocio, you know, like, they look at you like you're crazy. Like, ay, ¿cómo vas a poder hacer eso? Even my husband.
Yeah.
He's like, ay, ya que, ¿para qué le metes más? You know, like, ¿para qué haces esto? I'm like, y siempre there's always that, like, oh, ¿para qué quieres hacer eso? No, just for me.
Did you feel discouraged or no?
A lot of times. Yeah, a lot of times. I still feel discouraged sometimes. Like, I should just like sell this place and then just like move on, you know?
Yeah. But no, I mean, you invested a lot.
I invested a lot already, like, yes. It's still not where I want to be, you know, still estamos, you know, chiquitos, pero like I put all my heart to it, I guess you can say. You can just have a vision.
How do you balance your business and being a nurse?
Pues ando like, so I tried, like you mean like in the hours I open or, yeah. Mm-hmm. So I tried to do, I also did travel nursing to be able to do this. So I always had my job, and then I had a travel nurse. I left to, you know, get money to open up. Porque as your new business, they don't give you loans, right? Like they don't do startup loans. It's really hard to get them.
And if you do, you gotta present like a bigger proposal.
Yeah, and this is una cosa que
thesis.
Sí.
Nada más suéltame la feria.
Sí, yeah, I was like, why? Like, I can, but anyways, yeah. So I had to go through that.
¿Dónde te fuiste?
Me fui. Well, it was here in California, pero trabajé en el St. Agnes in Fresno, trabajé en Martinez, trabajé en Santa Clara. Actually, I did a local travel job to Salinas Valley Memorial, Watsonville. Yeah, I've been around those hospitals. I just wanted to see what was out there, just not Natividad, you know. Yeah. But anyway, so abro días. So I work night shift. So the day that say the first night, say today I'm gonna work night shift, I'll be there in the morning, and then I try to leave my place by 3, take a little nap, and then or finish hacer dinner, and then take a little nap at 4:30. Y vámonos a las 6:30 to work.
From 6 to 6?
From 7 to 7. I get there at 6:30, and then ya salgo a las 7:15ish. Yeah.
Okay. So
7 a.m.
I guess that's
so basically it's just un día sí, un día no.
Appointments. Based on appointments.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right now,
you don't have nobody else besides the doctor?
No,
it's just you?
Doing the injections. I have another lady that comes from Arizona. She does microblading. También hace brows. So she comes down from Arizona, and she's actually one of the instructors. She goes to Nebraska, Arizona, California. So she runs for me once a month. Well, me paga el mes, pero viene una vez al mes. Yeah. And then I have a girl that does lashes, but they just like rent the space for me. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Damn.
Yeah. So.
Pero ahora es diferente. It's different now because obviously your kids are bigger.
Sí, ya tengo tiempo. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're like feel
And
more
that's the
comfortable.
only regret. A veces tengo que I did all this for them, también to be with them. Because as a nurse, you only work 2 days, 3 days, and then you have the rest. Because you can work, you can be off for like 7, 10 days in a row.
Yeah.
Sí.
Pero sí, como dices tú, it's a lot easier now, ¿verdad?
Yeah. Digo que lo único que tengo as a regret, not really a regret, pero algo que me duele es I went to nursing school and all this just to be able to have more time with my kids, like to be able to spend more time with them. Now by the time I have this, because we as a nurse, you only work like 2 days, 3 days, and then you have like 7 days off.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Look at the website, like you work 5 days?
Well, I do 3 12. I used to do 3 12s, or that one of them was 2 because of the business. I cut down. So that was my thing, have more time with my boys and blah, blah, blah. Pero ya crecieron. Ya me dejaron. So it's like, oh man, like I did all this. Now I have the time, but now they're not here.
Yeah, se fueron. They moved out? Or
Well, no, they haven't moved out, pero ya cada quien tiene my son, el segundo, Anthony, he moved to Fresno.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a correction officer.
Nice.
Yeah, y el otro todavía está conmigo, más grande. Pero everybody else, ya pues tienen su,
Su vida.
Yeah, they're not gonna,
Yeah.
So they have their...
At what point do you see yourself saying, you know what, okay, it's time for me to step down from nursing and do this full time?
At what time? Cuando ya... I want to get a little bit busier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So right now...
my daughter's a senior in high school, so she's going to go into nursing también. So I want her to... I'm going to have her help me.
Yeah.
And bring her in, yeah.
Oh, nice. So I'm sure that you faced a lot of challenges like any other business owners that... one thing that I see a lot and nowadays is that people are always looking at what you're doing, right? And then when we started helping you out, we started seeing a lot of other similar businesses, right? And I'm just like, damn, everybody does this, you know what I mean? Like, okay, cool. Which is, it helps us out a lot with data collecting, RC, shout out to RC from Digital Vibes. Data collecting, seeing where they're at, where we at, what we can do, you know what I mean? And, it's crazy because if you don't put yourself out there now, a lot of people are going to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I was surprised because when we started helping you out, we started seeing all these businesses. Like, I haven't heard of them, but I know they did this and this and that. So obviously businesses look what the other businesses are doing, what challenge do you see in that aspect,
Pues, ¿qué te diré? What do I see? I mean, yeah, I guess they just want to keep up. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's, or hopefully it's inspiring. I don't know.
Yeah,
because it's not hard. You just want to see what's out there, que lo que hacen, and maybe try to offer that service as well. I don't know. Yeah.
Because I know hay unos que también hacen the IVs, otros no hacen, and some do.
Porque the IV is like, it's not just te voy a poner un IV.
Yeah.
You have to know like your osmolarity y el rate que lo vas a poner and all the side effects of the medication that you actually are giving. And there's like, parameters, like kidney stone. There's a lot behind. There's like more nursing into that that you have to do. And then how to respond. See, actually, what if they're allergic to that medication you're going? You have to have all your emergency kits. So you have to be ready to. No nomás te va a poner el IV. Here you go. Yeah. Most of them, everybody's healthy. They take it, but there's regulations on that también.
How do you deal with people like that call you like, oh my God, why get it cheaper at this other spot?
I know.
Porque ya ves que todos así están regateando, you know what I mean?
Yeah, sí, cierto. You can get it cheaper, pues ve. That's, you'll see the quality, Yeah. I feel like son poquitos my clients, right? But I feel like I know all of them. Like we still text. Like they'll text me like, hey, mira. And it's like we end up having like friends. Like si ocupas algo, connections. And and it's not like, oh yeah, vas a un big spa or whatever, medical spa, and it's just like so strict, like, okay, siéntate, vete. No, like we end up like chismeando and like having like getting to know us deeper, like, oh yeah, you did this. Y llegas a conocer a los clientes más.
Yeah.
And I feel like that connection it's awesome. It's just like having to know them and like they'll just
you're just not a patient. You're
Yeah,
more
you're
than
not
that,
just a
yeah.
patient. Like if I can help you, yo soy bien mala para cobrar, I swear. Like I'll see him like, oh, es que me quiero hacer esto, and they're like, oh, I want to help. Like I want to help. I was like, oh, si quieres, I'll do this. Like I'm bad.
Oh, no.
No, esto lo voy a quebrar antes de.
You're like, pues cuesta 300, pero dame
Ay,
100 si
like,
quieres.
oh my God, like I swear.
Así voy a ser yo cuando vaya contigo. ¿Sabes qué? No.
Yeah, no, but it's like, yeah, like I always have that urge
Yeah.
to, like, de andar
Es que
ayudando.
es que
It's just my nature, I guess.
Es que
I feel
tu
it.
forma de ser, you're a very humble person and everybody sees it, but también tienes que tú ponerte a pensar like, okay, this is my business.
Yeah, it
you
is,
know?
it is,
Yeah,
it
at the end of
is.
the
So-
day, you're bringing
Si no va a ser un expensive hobby, like.
yeah, you're bringing quality stuff, you're bringing quality work, you're putting a lot of time and effort for your businesses. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Because I know like medical spas are big and nice y bonito todo esto, but and yeah, they probably have, you have to know what you're doing in order for you to be in this business, or else you're gonna.
Lo que me gusta
fail.
is that you offer a like a payment option.
So yeah, we offer payments.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
And then
That's pretty cool, and not a lot of places do that.
no.
Not a lot of places do that. I know that I forgot to mention that your page was overhaul, your business page. That we did a major overhaul on that business page. I feel like we did it. Well, not me, but Robert RC.
Yeah, sí, like it's good.
Dude, yeah, I love it, and I was like, oh my god, dude.
I feel bad. I'm like, oh my god, because he does it in I'm at work, right? So he's texting me and I answer. I'm like, oh my god, 2 de la mañana we're texting back and forth.
No duerme.
No, I was gonna say he's not sleeping.
No duerme. Like
like-
I called him yesterday. We got out of the studio like at 10, and then 9, and then I went to the gym, and then I was on the road, and I was like, see, he's awake. Sí le hablé. He was awake.
Yeah.
We were talking on my way home, and he's a phenomenal
Yeah, last
guy.
night no trabajé and he was texting me and I was like, I did the last text and I put my phone down and me quedé dormida. Right? And this morning he had sent me a note. I'm oh sorry, I failed.
Yeah.
Me quedé dormida.
No, that's fine. But no, I saw the page at the beginning, and then I saw it now, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, he had a new feature. So now I get a lot of messages como, what about this? What about that? Now they're able to go online and ask the question to the chat box.
Yeah.
And it automatically, that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And then,
Yeah.
y siempre también con los IVs, they're like, oh, estoy sintiendo esto, but which one do I recommend? And he actually made them like,
Yeah.
if you feel this is what we recommend. And
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. That helps you a lot.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
helps you a lot. Yeah, también it just differentiates you from everybody else. It just makes you stand out a lot more. Y pues more detail, but plain and simple stands out more. No es así como like crazy. Me gustó mucho, and I'm excited because you're investing.
Yeah.
And sometimes we have to invest for us.
Exactly. That's like el que no arriesga no gana, right? Yeah.
Yeah, no, and I'm happy that we're here to help you out. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Yeah,
Really
here to-
appreciate you guys.
Yeah,
I do.
we're
I
here for
do.
you. Yeah.
Because it's a lonely world out there, like,
Because we're all about helping people succeed. If we can help you guys out, anybody, that we, como dice el gran maestro, yo tengo un hunch, dice, si miro que they have a good heart, I'll go out of my way to help them out. You know what I mean? But yeah, the same thing here. It's like me, and I tell RC, hey, make sure it's done good. Hey, when is this? So I like having that communication with the team, and with the guys here too as well.
So you have a great team. Yeah, you do.
Yeah, no, thank you. So we're okay. I was like, ya te pregunté eso. What does Revine mean to you personally?
Pues Revive, yo quería el nombre cuando lo escogí, was like, para sentirte bien, para sentirte mejor, and then just to revive. No sé, siempre me quiere sentirte como alive, a lot of people también cuando se sienten feitas, de sales, aunque te hagas un corte del pelo y nomás te lo peinan, you feel alive, you feel like, you can conquer the world.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. Like that was my intentions behind the name, like Revive, que revivas el ¿cómo se dice? What do I want to say? Like your autoestima, va a revivir tu autoestima to get.
¿Tú qué piensas en tus propias palabras, in your words? What would differentiate you from other similar companies or entities are doing the same thing that you're doing?
I know there's a lot out there, but I don't know. I think I'm, like you said, like genuine. Like I don't, no me gusta echar mentiras ni oversell a product. It's like, te digo que I don't even know in business que I mean, I know we have like great products y le digo, pero si yo miro que like, oh, you know, no, I'm not going to be like insistiendo, okay, comprame esta crema. No, I feel like I bring honesty. I bring honesty and I bring like, and I feel like my services are as bien igual que los de, you know, higher multi-million.
Like the Beverly Hills
like
ones?
the Beverly, it's just that we're small.
Yeah.
And then, pero la verdad, like the personal attention that I can give you and, you know, my genuine help y lo más mejor.
Do you feel now that you've been putting more effort, more into marketing and stuff like that, do you feel like you've been getting more attention? Like, I see from other competitions, they're looking at you, se ve que andas haciendo.
Sí, ay, no quiero decir nada. Pero, you know, just know that Salinas is small. And whatever you say to one client, they're going to come and tell.
Sí, eso sí.
Te van a decir.
Yeah.
And then you're going to know what their real intentions are from people, you know? Because las clients are como bar hopping.
Yeah.
They go to spa hopping. They go one spa, they go to another. And whatever le dice, if you bad talk, si hablas mal de otro spa, they're going to get that vibe from you. It's like, ellos van a saber, you know? And they're going to tell you.
That's true.
And it's and y sí me ha llegado a mí el chisme.
El chisme,
El chisme,
damn.
sí. Y sí, se siente uno like, ay, like how, like why?
Yeah.
Like, you know, ¿qué te hice? You know, is that why? You know, there's enough clients for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yo
como,
puedo ofrecer un servicio que tú no ofreces and then we can collaborate and we can do, but it's mucho hate. Es mucho como, I want to be the only one or like out
Really?
there. Como, yeah.
You know what? It's crazy because maybe hearing what I'm doing, as far as a podcast, I haven't seen that, pero sí mirado que muchos ya all of a sudden, everybody's a podcaster in this area. Nothing wrong,
Yeah,
pero I mean, at the end of the day, it's just what are your intentions behind it? Como por, yo no lo hago for likes or clicks or clout or I just do it because I like to sit down and talk to you, listen to your journey, you know, and how you could be an inspiration to somebody out there. Like, man, you know what? I want to be a nurse. You know, it's never too late for me to pursue my dream. You know.
Yeah.
No, y también no nada más eso, pero not let a counselor or somebody tell you can't do it.
You can't do it.
Yeah. So
because if I would have listened to her, I would have. Ahí estuviera todavía. You know.
Yeah. So it's an inspiration stories as well. Like the other people do it to see how many likes or clicks they're gonna get, or they're gonna get monetized and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, hate sucks, you know. Pero como dice Cat Williams, you need haters.
You need haters because that means you're doing something right?
Yeah.
You have potential.
Y como otra vez.
Yo empecé y dije, ay, yo no sé, like, okay, so yo me siento que no hago fit in the aesthetic, you know, ¿cómo se dice? The aesthetic face.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't, like, don't me pregunten, ¿por qué no te has hecho los labios? I'm like, I did. It's just that they were tinier. You know, like it's just like como no siempre hay un ¿cómo se dice? Como like an image that needs to be out there to be in order for you to be like a spa owner or something. And that's not me. That's me. It's like, okay, yo me quiero ver mejor, pero mi mejor versión, like me, like, you know, like no overdone, no así. Que no se mire que me hice algo.
Yeah.
Que se mire, algo se hizo, pero ¿qué se hizo? No se mire, you know, like. So, you know, yo siento que I don't fit the image of a spa, you know, like, but, you know, es siempre está aquí, you know what but you know what you're doing.
Yeah, todos hacen el BBL y todo. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
So,
Le digo a mi wife, si yo me gano la lotería, yo me voy a hacer una Brazilian butt.
With the skinny legs.
Yeah. No, I'll do everything. Que me pongan muscle in the leg. Ya ves que te hacen muscle
The
implants y
calves,
todo. I'll do
the calves,
everything.
yeah.
Hell yeah. ¿No hacen eso ahí con ustedes?
No.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, like if you don't have haters, I guess you're not doing a good job, you know?
Right.
Y como dicen palabras de otra vez del gran maestro, porque el gran maestro queda como una mystery. ¿Quién es el gran maestro? Dice José, that means that you're doing something right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just
Or you're heading the right direction.
Yeah, you're just heading the right direction. They're watching, they're looking at you, and
Y luego, ¿cómo se dice? You get to know who really is with you and who really is not.
Exactly.
You kind of like, los vas, se van cayendo como moscas, you know, like they stay away from you.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's...
Como que les da envidia. No sabe uno si les da envidia o...
Because they want you to do good, but not better than them. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, yeah.
I experienced that when I got sick. Yeah, when I got sick, ya ves que hice el dicho cuando te enfermas.
¿Sabes quién son los amigos?
Ajá.
Las buenas y las malas, you know?
Yo afortunadamente me di cuenta de eso y mi círculo de amistades se hizo así muy chiquito y ahora tengo otros tipos de amistades como, a Luis, el producer, Juan, stuff like that, and it's just it opens your eyes. And when I went back to this, when I started this again, because before I was with somebody else, but now that I'm back, I got some people that were just hating, you know what I mean? Like, I want to be Joe Rogan, or you want to do this.
Why
Like,
not?
yeah. Pues como dice el dicho, why not? If you're going to copy somebody good, you know? Joe Rogan, hell yeah, But, yeah, you do get a lot of hate, but it comes viene.
It comes
Afortunadamente vivimos en un mundo donde va a haber.
Como te digo, cuando I want to do my Instagram post and I want to use a filter nomás, I come más como 20% because I don't want to be fake. I'm just a little bit, but anyways, but yeah, you do get a lot of como, like, a lot of people and you think, oh yeah, once you're open, todos van a venir, No. And then the other thing is I can read people. Like, I don't know. Like, dice mi daughter, stop, you're not a witch. Stop. They go, no, I can read people. Like, I can read people. And it's something that I've always had. Like, como I can tell, like, an example, I have a niece and she had a friend, but I didn't like her vibe. I was like, ahí está. Like, and I even told my daughter, I just don't like her porque her demeanor, the way I'm like, whatever. I'm always like, así.
Yeah.
And then she was like, like her face. Y yo le quería hablar algo. She's like, dije, pues no me hables, like whatever. And I just didn't like her vibe and the way she would stare at my niece. And I'm like, and I told my daughter, we were in dinner that time, and I'm like, I don't like that friend. Like, I watch. Bam! Like a couple of weeks later, like, she found out something de la friend. I'm like, I knew it. Like, I knew it. So, yeah, like, I don't know. I feel like I have that extra sentido.
Pero at the end of the day, that doesn't bother you because you're just being straight. You're being you.
Yeah, I'm being me. Yeah, like,
and people see that. I see it, what is one lesson in life that you had to, what one lesson in life was taught to you really, really hard?
Ay, que no tengas confianza, que no seas confianzudo, ¿no? Not to take people for granted.
Okay, nice. Who has been your biggest supporter or influence on this journey?
My biggest supporter, I'm gonna say my boys.
Okay.
To be honest, like they use me echan porras, like they're like, yeah, you can do it, just do it, Yeah.
How would you define your success today?
Not where I really want to be, like, pero ahorita de everything I have, I'm very grateful. I'm grateful what I have, what I've lost.
I ask this question to all the guests that I have. If you could go back in time, you could take the travel machine and go see little Angelica chiquita. ¿Qué le dirías?
Me vas a hacer llorar. ¿Qué te diré? I think I would just say, keep being you. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't even know how to answer that question. Yeah.
I always ask that question.
If I would come back and tell me something, would it be like, you got this?
Nice. Okay. Now, what advice would you give to any woman out there, especially moms, who have dreams but feel stuck or afraid to chase them?
So don't be afraid. You have to. I know resilience, like muchos no tienen, like les pasa algo and they shut down. You can't. You have to. I always say, si me pasa algo, I was like, it didn't happen, like a dream. Let's go. Let's move on. And I think that's what always has made me go like push forward, to to look at digo, like you can't just be stuck into that problem. You have to like, okay, ya pasó, voy a chillar lo que voy a chillar, pero sabes qué? What am I gonna do about it? Am I gonna be todo el tiempo crying about it, like, or feeling sorry for myself? I don't like nobody feeling sorry for me, so no me gusta. I don't even like to feel sorry for myself. Like
Right.
I'll, like I said, I'll cry what I have to cry, and then it's like, you got this, like vámonos. I like, ahora sí.
It's time to solve the problem.
Yeah, like you can't show the world lo que de veras traes, you have to. So to those single moms, it's like you have little ones looking up to you. And even if you think they're not watching, they're watching. They hear everything. They're little sponges. They take everything in. So whatever you want to instill in them, like, your abusive relationship or lo que sea, they see that. And they can read you. And then it's basically, you don't want that for them, so you got to move on. You have to just keep going. And it's easy to say, oh yeah, just keep going.
Yeah.
Porque a veces, like, your head is, people that suffer mental health, lo que sea, they get stuck on that, and it's just they just shut down. It's so different. I've seen it, like, pero para mí, it's just, okay, ya pasó. How are you gonna fix it?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah. But for you, it's not that it's easy for you to say because tú lo viviste, you lived it, so firsthand. You know what I mean?
I do.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move some fun questions, rapid fire. Okay, one word to describe yourself.
Can I say the word?
Yeah, say it.
Bien mamona. Bien payasa. Okay, let's do bien payasa.
All right.
I like to joke around, yeah.
Okay. Favorite motivational quote, if you have one.
Sí se puede.
Okay. What's one self-care ritual you never skip?
Mis cremas.
I need to jump on that trend. Yeah. Okay. Tacos or tortas?
Tacos.
Okay. Dream vacation destination.
I don't know why, but it's always Mexico. I don't even...
Really?
Yeah, it's like... I've actually had flights booked to Europe. Y se me han cancelado. Well, first of all, it was COVID.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a sign. I was getting ready to go to Israel. Y se soltó la guerra. I'm like, And then, and I go to another beach. It's like, en Mexico está bonitas.
Yeah.
And then,
For me, Dubai.
Dubai. Yeah. I guess so.
I had an opportunity to go with one of my buddies. He went. I regret it not going. But, that would be my dream. Yo me acuerdo que
Morocco.
Morocco también was another one. Yo me acuerdo que cuando me pusieron la anestesia before surgery.
Te fuiste a Dubai.
No, pues me dijo la nurse porque tenían como clouds arriba y no sé, cosas así. Y era natividad, third floor, I remember. And I was just like, we said, okay, Jose, we're going to put the anesthesia. He said, do you want to fight it? I'm like, nah. Let's say, what will be your dream vacation? I'm like, Dubai, at the beach. He's like, okay, picture yourself there. I literally pictured myself there. Knocked out. Dude, quedé bien dormido. Yeah, but Dubai for me would it be.
Yeah.
All right, now to close it, I have a couple questions for you, to close out and finish this episode. What's next for Angelica Alcaraz?
Ay, pero ahí voy otra vez a la escuela. I'm going to be a nurse practitioner.
Okay.
¿Oíste lo que dije? I'm going to be. Dije, todavía ni sé si va a pasar.
I like that.
I'm going to be. Yeah. I'm going to do it because it'll help my business. And I feel like bedside, even though I like it, it's hard on your body. So I need to be able to be doing something that I love, which is patient care, interactions in another way in la clínica. Basically seeing babies, I can prescribe. And not only that, but I can use that in my business as well. So
Really?
Yeah.
How can you use it in your business?
So I have I have to pay nurse practitioners to do my medical clearance. So basically I put them online with the medical nurse practitioner, and they ask them all the questions to make sure that because I'm not licensed to prescribe, right? So they make sure that they're okay for receiving Botox and IVs and laser and everything. So they do a medical clearance. And then once they say it's okay, then I can touch the patient or else.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So then me da ahorro ese dinero.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Where can people follow your journey or connect with you?
And our Instagram, yeah.
Instagram. So you're on
Yes.
Instagram.
I'm Instagram, y la website, and then, well, Facebook. I think I have Facebook as
Is
well.
Arcee gonna do a TikTok for you or no?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, I have a TikTok. Sí tengo.
Yeah?
Sí tengo uno,
Okay.
but yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Instagram, Facebook, the new
The
improved
new improved
website.
website.
Yeah. And obviously you can find her here too. She's one of our sponsors, usually on the description. I tengo the links to all the sponsors so you can click in there también. And then we also post, también podemos post tuyos ahí in our Instagram page on all social media and like Live Life Podcast. So you can find her there too as well. Any final words of inspiration for someone out there that is listening to this episode right now? Not right now, because we're being recorded, but who's listening to this episode who's struggling to believe in themselves?
I would say, like, take a step back and don't look to your, what's the obstacles? Just be happy, like everything that you've accomplished to that point. You've gone to this point where you want to, move forward, but you already have accomplished somewhere. So don't doubt yourself because it's getting harder. If it's getting harder, that's because you're capable of doing it. Yeah. So I feel like you have to take a step back and say, primero, be grateful of what you have and what you have accomplished to that point, and then move forward and say, you know what? Okay, so si no se puede, no se puede, but at least you tried it. Okay, you failed. Okay, let's do it again. What else can I do different that is going to help me this time? Yeah, like.
Nice.
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
It's like,
You answered.
yeah.
You answered. That's a good answer. With that being said, before we end, is there anything else you want to say?
No, just thank you to all. You guys are being so helpful,
No,
helping me with the website and the podcast. Y todo is like, it's actually an honor, to get to know people like you guys that are also humble and down to earth. Yeah.
No, thank you. I appreciate that. And
They don't, look down. Que no.
yeah, no, we're all here about helping out. That's why I like the guys, LC1 Productions, Luis. I know he did the IV.
Yeah, he got an IV.
Yeah.
Casi se me desmayan. No, actually, Juan.
Juan?
He had to turn away. No needles.
Oh
no
my
needles.
God.
He's like, I already take a bunch of oral medicine. Yeah. No ocupo IV. I'm like, you need an IV for this.
Ay,
Me decía un síntoma. I got an IV for you. And then he's like, no. Todas fuerzas me quieres picar. Yeah.
Oh, man.
So, yeah,
No,
but
si me dijo Luis, I said, dude, I feel so good. I feel energy. And I was like, that's good, but you needed it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I know that's why I feel blessed, too, that I have the guys around me, Juan, Luis, RC, that are able to do this. I feel blessed. So, and we're always here to help out people that deserve it and people that are genuine like yourself. We're always here to lend you a hand. And I'm happy that te animaste a hacer,
I know,
que
me
estabas
daba miedo.
nervioso.
I'm not famous, like, why didn't you interview me?
But no, at least now your clients could see, the real you. You know what I mean? Now they're like, oh, okay, cool, And then not only that, but we're going to wish you continued success and Revine.
Thank you.
We'll be here helping you out, grow your business. And with that being said, that's it, guys. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you, guys. All right, bye.